Have you ever uploaded a resume, profile picture, PDF, or Excel file using a Spring Boot application? Most developers know how to write this, but very few developers actually know what happens internally. Think about it. When a user selects a file and clicks upload, how does Spring Boot know where the files start, where the file ends, what is the file name, what is the file type, and what is the actual content? And how does this single object called multipart file suddenly appear inside our controller? Let's understand the complete journey. Imagine you're applying for a job, you select resume.pdf and click upload. The first thing many developers assume is that browser sends the file as JSON, something like this. But that is not possible because JSON is text. A PDF file is not a text, an image is not a text, and a video is not a text. These are binary files. So browser uses a special format called multipart form data. This format was specifically designed for file uploads. Now let's say your form contains name, email, and resume. When you click upload, browser doesn't send everything as a one giant block. Instead, it divides the request into multiple parts. One part contains name, another part contains email, and another part contains resume. That's why it is called as multipart. So, many parts under one request. Now this multi-part request travels over internet and reaches Spring Boot. The moment Spring Boot sees content type is multi-part form data, it is immediately understand, okay, this is a file upload request. And at this point, a very important component or a hero comes into the picture. Most developers never hear about it. It is nothing but multi-part resolver. Think of multi-part resolver as a translator. The browser sent a complicated multi-part request, but Spring controllers cannot directly understand that format. So multi-part resolver reads the request, separates all the parts, extract the file information, extract the file content, and finally creates an object called multipart file. And that's exactly why inside our Spring Boot controller we receive multipart file. At this point, Spring has already done most of the hard work for us. Now we can easily ask what is the file name, what is the file size, what is the content type. We can even save the file. For example, using file.transfer to. And this physically stores the file on disk. So now let's go through the code and see the internal behavior. If you see here, we have one file controller. Inside this file controller, we have two methods. One is upload file and second one is download file. Under upload file method, we have added one annotation request param where we are passing multi-part file as a parameter. We have one service called file processing service. And if I go to this upload file, you see here we are getting file.getOriginalName, which means we are fetching the file name. And then we are fetching the file size, and then we are also fetching what is the content type. After that, we are getting the target location, means where we have to upload this file. So we have already defined the base location of our folder. So if you see here, we are creating one upload directory, and this upload directory will be created inside this particular project. So based on the upload directory, we are building the complete path for the file location where it will get stored. After that, we are calling transfer to method, which accepts target location or file location as a parameter. So now let's run this application and try to upload a file and see how the flow working. So my application is started, and if you see, the moment I have started the application, one uploads folder got created over here. Now let me go to Postman and hit one request. If you see here, I'm passing a key as a file, and then I'm passing value as filedemo.pdf. But before that, I have selected form data. We were talking about multi-part form data, right? So that's what we have selected here, form data. So now let me hit a request. And if you see here, the response is file uploaded successfully. Now let me go to that upload folder and see if any file got created. So if you see here, expand this folder, you will see file demo.pdf, which means one file got uploaded successfully over here. So this was the file upload functionality. But now here is something very interesting. Most beginners think this is how real companies store file. They think files are stored inside the Spring Boot application folder. But in production, that's usually not true. Imagine millions of users uploading files every day. The application server would run out of storage very quickly. That's why real projects usually store files in services like AWS S3 means Amazon S3, Azure Blob Storage, and Google Cloud Storage. In such systems, Spring Boot act like a middleman. The browser sends the file to Spring Boot validates the file, then Spring Boot upload the file to cloud storage. Now let's talk about file downloading. Uploading and downloading are opposite operations. During upload, browser send request to Spring Boot. But during download, Spring Boot send request to browser. When a user clicks download resume, Spring Boot reads the file from the storage, then it converts the file into downloadable resource, sends it back in the HTTP response, and browser automatically downloads it. So let's go through the code and see the internal working of file downloading. If you see this download file method, first I'm trying to create a file path. And then I'm trying to create a resource by passing the file path and converting into URI. And if resource exists, means if file exists, then I'm returning it. So let's run the application and test it via Postman. If you see this, I have created a download folder, and if I go to download folder, as of now, I don't have any file content. Now I'm going to Postman and trying to download a file. So here I'm selecting send and download. So in this path, it is asking me to download it. So I click on save and then response got downloaded, means file got downloaded. So let's go to File Explorer and see if that file got downloaded. See here, one file got downloaded as file demo. So our file is successfully got downloaded and we can see the file content over here. So this is how file download functionality works in Spring Boot. So let's quickly summarize the complete journey that we have learned so far. User selects file, browser converts it into multipart form data, request reaches Spring Boot application, Multipart Resolver process the request, Spring creates multipart file, application stores file on disk or cloud storage, and when we need it, Spring reads the file and sends it back to browser, and this is download functionality. That's the complete life cycle of file upload and download in Spring Boot. And now, when you see this multi-part file, you will know the entire story behind it instead of just memorizing an annotation. So if you find this video helpful, please do like, share and subscribe. Thank you for watching this video.